Hey guys, what is up? It is Alex here with another F1 2012 Sprint Mode video. This time we're in Monza, and this is going to be an absolutely crazy race, as it normally is in Monza. We are starting at the front in the Williams, so we've got the best chance at turn 1. But we've got to make sure that we don't get taken out, because that's going to be quite easy to get taken out, because turn 1 at Monza is very, very hard. And even in real life F1 with the skilled drivers like there are still drivers crashing, so it's going to be a hard one into turn 1. We're going to do our best to get a good launch, and obviously go into turn 1 without any contact. So here we go, the lights are out and away we go, using as much curves as possible. People behind us not getting the greatest start, going to the inside to make sure that people aren't hitting us up the inside and crashing us off the track. And we're going to get through turn 1 as fast as possible, braking early, going across the inside of the corner, making sure I get a good line there. There's cars flying up the inside, but we've got a nice gap now. And it was very lucky we got through turn 1 sort of unscathed and no damage whatsoever. And we've got a good gap now to the car behind us, which is I think this Harlock 70 guy. And he's going to try and catch us down, but we've got the nice gap now of about 1.2 seconds. Getting it a bit wrong, try and go for the sort of good line through the corner, and getting it onto the grass on the inside. And you saw the Mercedes behind me flying over the curbs. Now coming through some of the back section of the track. You've got to get these corners right, because sometimes you can run wide into the gravel and lose a lot of time out of it. So luckily getting them all right, going along under the Allianz banner, hitting the DRS mark, but obviously no DRS in sprint mode. But this guy behind us, I think it's called Viatable Lawyer or something, and he's coming up right behind us, only 7/10 of a second now. He's getting these corners perfect and getting right up behind us. I'm going to have a good battle with him towards the end of the race, but he's gone wide, spun it, and look at that, he's crashed into the wall. And that's lucky for us that he didn't have any more corners, because he probably would have got past us in these coming sort of corners and the last laps of the race, because he looked fast, and it was very lucky for me at least that he crashed out. But now we've got a pretty big gap to the car behind us, and I'll tell you it's probably about a 2.5 second gap to the car behind us, which means that we can sort of cruise towards the end of this race. But it's still been a pretty crazy first lap, and obviously anything can happen in sprint mode, so I've got to keep my eyes on the board and the road and make sure that I don't spin off. So braking into turn 1's always hard, but luckily hitting the apexes and not running wide into the gravel means I still have a decent gap of over 2.5 seconds to the guy behind me. And you know, it's always easy to just run away with a race win and not have any drama whatsoever, but it's also very easy to lose concentration and end up in the gravel, and that's something I didn't want to do, because in these couple of races I was on a really long streak, and I actually got a 6 race streak whilst racing here. And you've probably seen a couple of the other videos up already, but a 6 win streak online on sprint mode is pretty good, and considering some of these races I was up against tough competition, it was always good to see that. And yeah, it was just a good time, and actually winning some of the races was always good. And in the last sector we had 3.5 seconds to the guy behind us. He lost about a second in the first sector, so we'll see now as we go through the second sector split, setting the fastest first sector and second sector of the race. He's actually caught up us on a little bit on that second sector, about 8/10 of a second, but over the lap still lost 2/10 of a second to us. And then big Hamilton fan is the car behind him. And yeah, we're going to go into Parabolica, make sure we don't lock up and slide into the gravel, which is always easy to do. Now coming onto the big straight, and I think we're going to get set a pretty decent lap time here, or for sprint mode at least a 1:25.7, pretty decent lap time, setting the fastest lap of the race. And I think that's 2 or 3 tenths up on the guy in second, so we did set a pretty decent lap time there. Break into turn 1 once again, but then big Hamilton fan completely demolishes our lap time by about 6/10 of a second, and you can see there he's battling with second place with, I think it's Pricey's 1966. So we've got a bit of a gap here, but obviously we can't lose concentration and start doing crazy things, because obviously sprint mode is crazy and anything can happen. We're setting 1/10 up on our fastest lap, then running wide and losing a lot of time there, because I ran wide, slid over the tyre and hit the curves, which lost me a lot of time. And you can see now is the gap to the guy behind is probably in about 1.6, 1.7 seconds. And we've got to keep on it now. We've got to really push. Use the curves and the DRS. Oh, sorry, not the DRS, because you don't get that in sprint mode. We use the curves in the right place and make sure that we don't spin off into the gravel, which you might have seen in my career mode is pretty easy for me to do at least. So yeah, so coming through the last couple of corners of the lap. 2 seconds to the car behind me. He's closing in. He's closing in. I've got to make sure that I don't run off a Parabolica into the gravel. 3 tenths down on our best lap time, so that's going to put us about a 1:26 lap time when we come towards the end. But yeah, what a crazy race. The first lap was pretty crazy, that the Force India crashing out, and probably could have been a lot closer to us if he hadn't crashed out. But yeah, pretty crazy race, guys. Come across the line, set a 1:26.1 or something like that in the last lap. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. It was a great win for me, so hopefully you enjoyed it. It's been Alex, I'm out here. Bye.